What's up, First Gen fam? I got my wife with me this time. We're up here in beautiful Decorah, Iowa, and we're doing a little trout fishing. I'd actually like to hunt up here sometime. This is a big buck county. The neighboring county is also a big buck county, also a CWD county, I believe. So that's kind of sad for us Iowans, but just reminds us that it's something we got to take seriously as hunters. Anyways, we're just fishing in a really just a small, I don't want to say town stream, but it's right outside of town. We got in kind of late this evening, so we can't go hit some of the more remote trout streams tonight. We're hoping to tomorrow if the weather holds out. But beautiful, as you can see, nonetheless. And I think my favorite part about fishing up here is that this water is only, I don't know, maybe 2 feet deep right here, max, and yet you can still catch trout out of it. That's pretty cool. Well, maybe we'll talk to you a little bit later tonight. We got pizza that we're picking up at 8, the famous Mabe's Pizza, so I'm looking forward to that because I probably won't catch my own supper. So talk to you later. All right. Pizza and fish.
Got our first trout.
Or maybe we just have fish pizza, trout pizza. Like a true Decorah delicacy, maybe. All right, I better get him off and on the stringer. Fish number dose on the board here. Another rainbow. Maybe a little bit bigger than the last one. It'll taste the same though. Looking forward to eating it. All right, people. Day 2 of the Iowa Driftless trout trip. Last night was a success, caught a couple. It's kind of nice when you go on like a fishing trip and you actually catch some fish fairly early on because, I don't know, then it just seems to like legitimize your trip. Although in a recent interview with the great Noel Gandy, he talked about how each like deer we kill is like $1,000 deer or whatever, or like $1,000 turkey. And I think that kind of goes the same way when you go fishing. All the gas, snacks along the way. As you can see though, I'm wearing mostly the same clothes I wore yesterday, so not much money spent on my clothing. You know, I just like to work up this nice man musk when I'm out in the woods for a few days. My wife loves it. No, she doesn't, but it's okay. We're outside, so can't stink too bad. Anyways, we're at the trout stream now. Here at the South Bear trout fishing area here on some beautiful public land. And just a reminder of, you know, having these public places, how important that is. And so anytime we can kind of rise to the occasion and support that, we should do that. Anyways, we'll talk to you later, hopefully with some fish. All right, we're moving on to our second hole. We got a couple bites on the good old Thomas Cyclone, and then had one of those heart-wrenching moments when you see this tiny little twig and your lure gets caught on there and you can't get it off, and because you have to fish with like fluoro or mono when you're fishing for trout, whereas I normally prefer braid, you can't hoss it off as I normally do things. And I didn't have Jake here to bait him into going down into the drink for me to get my lure, so I had to tie on a new inline spinner this time instead of had a little spoon on. Thomas Cyclone, by the way, best trout lures. They're old. It's an old lure company, Thomas Lures. I think it's Thomas Lure Company is actually what it's called. They're hard to find, but man, I've caught a lot of trout on their lures. But anyways, on to our next spot here. Walking through all kinds of chest-high weeds. Probably will get ourselves into some stinging nettles or poison ivy at some point today, but hey, when you're catching fish, it's worth it. Now, I've never hunted up here in the Driftless area, as I mentioned in last night's video, one of them anyways. I would really like to, and the thing is, it's a lot different than anywhere I've hunted before. A lot of, for Iowa anyways, big timber, A lot of these streams just kind of networking all over the place, and so it's kind of almost like you got to learn a new game. But you know, another good way to be efficient with your scouting is when you go fish, or yeah, efficient with your scouting is when you go fishing. I noticed over here, I'm standing in the middle of the stream right now trying to get to the trout, but I noticed there's a cut going up the bank over there. Let's see if I got this on the like mirror mode here on my phone. But anyways, I'll post a picture later. There's a cut going up this bank here, and Chris Dyer in episode 8 on the podcast mentioned if you walk through a certain area, ask yourself, why am I walking here? And chances are it's because it's the easiest place to walk through. And sure enough, this is a shallow across this creek here. So these deer are cutting across the creek and heading up that little spot right there. So if I was going to hunt here, I'd probably pick one of these, bigger trees that are around me here. You can kind of see some of it, some over here on the other side, where I would hang my stand. And this is an area where you're allowed to hunt, public hunting ground as well, I believe. It's a wildlife management area, I believe. And could probably get a decent shot here at this little crossing on this stream. So just one other scouting tip, way to be efficient with other activities that you're doing. Okay, so we have not caught any fish yet today. We've had some on, we had some hits. Where's your fish, Kate?
No, it's not.
No, it's a different fish, I think. Caitlin, my wife, she had a, I don't know, probably good 1.5 pound, 2 pound rainbow. She got it up onto, we're wade fishing, so she's out in the water. We don't have a dip net with us. We should have one. But she was hauling them in, and of course flipped off the hook at a point where she couldn't quite get them up to shore, and she almost was able to grab them. She had them for a second with her hand, and then I think they call rainbow trout slimers a lot, so it just kind of like slipped out of her hand like a snake, and that was that. So we had a really good one on. Would have been a great eater, but it's just the way it's been going today. Beautiful scenery though. So we're on the North Bear end of this waterway now, and it's just beautiful. I'll give you a little glimpse of what we're getting ready to fish here, this little hole. Yeah, so wish us luck. See if we can get any today. We got those 2 last night, but I'd like to have a limit each to do a big trout dinner sometime. Here we are crossing the North Bear. Fishing is slow. I just don't think I brought enough tackle. I also wonder if we're just to the part of the summer where flies are way more effective. If so, I mean, I have some, but I have not mastered the art. I have not learned the art, I should say, of using a fly rod yet. So that's on my lifetime bucket list. Probably someday after kids. But we're still having a just perfect time. I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and highly recommend coming up here to do a little Iowa trout fishing sometime if you get a chance. Well, we aren't catching fish, but we caught some snake skin. We just switched over to worms. It's like the most unfishing time of the day, so figured maybe some live bait would help. But we're gonna go try a few more spots and then probably come back out this evening, have some fun around town, see what we can do to maybe change our chances on the fish. So far, Caitlin, I mean, she technically caught that one. I mean, we just couldn't get it all the way up on the shore. But since last night we haven't had one in hand, so hoping that changes this evening. We're here cruising the roads to kind of link up the fishing areas between South Bear Creek and North Bear Creek. We have not had much luck fishing today, but man, has it been a blast. Done a lot of hiking, wading through both North and South Bear Creeks. Picked a lot of raspberries. So even though my fishing skills aren't on point, we're still having a blast. Well, we finally caught a fish today. Like literally, what was it, Caitlin? Maybe 4 minutes ago, not even 5 minutes ago. I lost a big brown. He snapped my line. I moved down just a little bit and caught this nice little rainbow. So Caitlin lost a big rainbow today. I lost a big brown, but we got another good eater size rainbow, maybe even a little bit bigger than the two we got last night. So still just an awesome trip though. We got a storm moving in, so we're trying to hit it hard here before rain comes. All right, fish number 2 for tonight. Could be just the changing pressure with the storm moving in is kind of speeding up the bite like it does with a lot of other fish. But see, one adjustment that I made for tonight was I really slowed down my retrieve, and I've had 3 fish on since I've done that. So I don't know if that's the key or just the pressure change, but we'll take it. Well, today when we weren't catching any fish, we were picking a whole bunch of raspberries and storing them in this empty water bottle. We have about 3/4, well, 2/3 of the bottle full. They're pretty jam-packed in there though. They've been soaking in there all day. Then we stopped by the famous Whippy Dip here in Decorah, and so we're gonna have some wild raspberries and ice cream. We don't know when to quit. The rain is finally like stopped. It's just such a nice evening now. It's like mid-70s. Still got probably 45 minutes of light. Gotta go see if we can get a couple more trout pulled out of here, and hopefully a few more trout to eat later this week. All right, our trip's drawn to an end here in beautiful Decorah. Getting ready to stock up our picks and catches from past few days. So we'll start here with some trout. I think this is just no, I think this is a double right here from yesterday. By the way, a great way to freeze your fish is to fill the bag with water. I learned that trick from my grandmother. I don't know, maybe some other food experts out there would say otherwise, but it's worked great for me. The fish has always tasted good. My problem is when the freezer bag freezes to the bottom of the freezer. Here's the single from last night. This is the last fish we caught. And here's the double from the first day. And last but not least, are raspberries. And my wife taught me the trick of freezing your raspberries, or any berries for that matter, on like a plate or a cookie sheet. Don't just throw them all in the bag or else they get all stuck in one big iceberg of berries. But looking forward to having some trout when we get back. Where we live, there are no trout streams in the local area. You got to travel at least about an hour and 15 minutes to get to the nearest one, so it's kind of a nice commodity to be able to bring that back home. But highly recommend the trout fishing here in Iowa, and highly recommend just coming up to the Iowa Driftless area. It's very beautiful. We stopped by Yellow River State Forest on our way home, and man, Driftless, Iowa people, make the trip.